Super.
Good to see you here. I would like to say a big thank you to you. Although I did not follow you for years, but in the past 6 months, a lot of things have changed. I'm writing a book. It's called Mother Industrialist. I, in fact, emailed you. I guess I have not hustled enough to email you a lot of times. But because of that, of you ignoring again, I realized that I need to do something. And I took the action of document versus create. Because for me, I'm a marketer, marketing consultant. I always think of crazy ideas, but I never go into document it. So what I did is, because of my book, Mother Industrialist, I interviewed 15 mompreneurs that I put into my book that I personally know. And because moms love to share, they start referring other mompreneurs, but I could not put them into the book. And that's where I created my Facebook Live weekly, every Monday. And I document it, and I interview them, and it's growing and growing. So my question to you is, how should I bring it, scale it up from there? And and personally, I own a creative marketing company. So how do I put it together?
So you want to figure out how to use the leverage of the show, the weekly show, to build on top of?
Yep.
What would you like to happen? Would you like it to be a gateway drug to your creative shop? Do you want to build a SaaS product for mompreneurs? Or do you want to become a personal brand and live as being the human that makes enough dollars? I think you have a lot of flexibility of what you can do, but this is where you have to start backwards. So for me, the reason I think I'm winning is, for me, backwards, I'm more interested in my legacy than making money, which is why all of you like me, because I'm trying to win you over by giving you value, not get a short-term sale, which is why it's building legacy. So all my behaviors work backwards. I just gave you in 1 second 3 viable options on the back of this. Do you have an answer? Do you have a clear answer to that, or is that something you need to debate?
Because there's a lot of options that I could do, which I'm working on, but it's not coming back to me as fast, because
How long have you been doing the live show?
Episode 15, so I'm going for my 16, or doing on a weekly basis.
Hold on, 1-5?
1-5, yes. Yes, I just started, So because of that, So I'm going on and on, I'm not stopping, and it's growing, and it's not just locally, it's also into US, and a lot of traction, people start referring.
Yeah, it's called Facebook.
Yes. So I'm continuing that, and getting a lot of traction, getting partners coming, and also to sponsor for my book. So that's what I'm working towards, and I also like what you have mentioned is to put it as a media. So I'm also attracting partners, companies to come in to maybe like mompreneurs, they have their own business.
Can I give you a good piece of advice that's good for everybody?
Yep.
The sooner you monetize, the quicker you give up the leverage.
The question is how to monetize.
Yeah, I understand. So, and the answer is, I really wish you didn't give a shit about monetizing just yet.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of ways to monetize. You just rattled off several, and I rattled off several. So I don't think you have an. Are you having trouble closing the opportunities?
I guess the struggle is because I want to bring out value. I want to push this mompreneur movement all around, and to drive this rather than focusing on monetizing. But monetizing is still our bread and butter. That's why.
But they're very different things, right?
Yes.
Like, one of the things that really works for me is I don't want to monetize any of you.
Yep.
I have an agency that works with the top 100 brands, right? So couldn't you monetize with what you're doing and continue to build equity with the mompreneur community?
I could do that, just that I have to speed up and also.
But why speed up? Dude, you've done 15 episodes. You're 4 seconds in. What are you trying? Where are you going? What's the rush?
Get it.
I mean, that's the punchline.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Do you think it's going to go away? Do you think you found some sort of rare, pot at the end of the rainbow that's going to disappear? I'm asking.
I feel that it's unique, coming from a man, coming from a dad, interviewing mompreneurs.
So what, are you scared about a bunch of dudes here trying to talk to the mompreneurs?
No. Yeah. So I guess it's to find out what, because I have my own creative marketing company, it's like what you've been doing, VaynerMedia, you're doing your business. At the same time, I feel that being an author, writing my book, interviewing mompreneurs is kind of like my Superman time. That I get to do all these things, which I love to do it, but at the same time, I have to be Clark Kent. I have to do all the work, get my bills paid and all that, which is my
The problem is you can't monetize Superman to be Superman.
Yep.
You followed?
Yes.
That's the problem. You're trying to sell a logo on Superman's suit and it's going to look really stupid. You following or no?
Yep. I get it.
The answer is you don't monetize it.
Got it. Thanks.
Because two things will happen. One, you're still going to monetize as Clark Kent. You know how I don't, do you watch Daily V at all?
Yes, yeah.
You know how I always talk about like you're not seeing any of it?
Yep.
Because you're not. 13 hours a day that you see nothing of me in meetings with clients. Sometimes I'll do a fast music and just to show you, just to remind you I'm actually doing, but I don't think it's super fun content and I think it's a waste of your time to watch me in B-roll be in 11 hours of meetings. You know, I'm very good at being Clark Kent and I have no interest in monetizing Superman. You're trying to monetize Superman, which is going to be the undoing of both.
Got it. Yep, I understand.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey, hi Gary. My name is Radu.
How are you?
Very pleased to be here, and also I need to start by saying big thank you because I've been following you for about 1 year maybe,
Thank you.
but really needed some of those principles. Maybe I read too many bullshit stories of get rich overnight and kind of, I was having that illusion in my brain that it's supposed to be fast. And I think the top thing that I took from you is that, look, it takes time.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Because my personality, and I'm sure some of you felt this the first time you saw me, my personality seems so bullshit. And it's ended up being my biggest strength. Because I have that kind of pizzazz that all the bullshit people that say it's gonna happen fast have, I'm able to get your attention and then I trick you into going slow.
Yeah.
And then you actually get what you want.
Yeah. It works. I guarantee.
It sure does.
So thank you very much for that. My question is, and I'll work through it because I'm not sure I have it clearly in my head. So basically, I've been doing headhunting and human resources executive search for about 4 years.
I like it.
Very specific to a field, which is supply chain and logistics.
I like that too.
I started a podcast about 2-3 months ago, which is going really well.
That makes sense.
It's called Leaders in Supply Chain. So I'm trying to do
Let me tell you why I think that, notice how I said that makes sense? Super narrow. You know what's so funny? It's how I think about Singapore. I think having 5 million citizens is the advantage, not the disadvantage. Everybody's so quick to build here and then go and do Indonesia and other parts that you forget that if you win the entire 5 million market, you have a real business. I love podcasts in very narrow supply chain. Are you kidding? Everybody thinks they have to make like consumer. The meanwhile is if you get the right 800 people listening to your 800, if you get the right 800 people listening to your podcast, your headhunting business is going to explode.
Yeah, it's starting. Well, I guess it's just I think it will need a little bit more time, but it's happening because I'm engaging with really C-level people because it's also creating that platform that this industry doesn't have currently.
Correct. It also is media. So your ability to email somebody who's the decision maker at a company to be a guest who nobody would ask to be a guest of anything, and now they become aware of what you do on the side, give Superman away for free, watch Clark Kent make money.
Yeah. So I guess all of this is happening. I think it needs still a bit of time, a lot more time.
Of course.
But I guess where I'm kind of struggling, or I guess where my question is, so on the one side, we are selling headhunting. So basically you recruit the best for your business, so which is HR. Then on the other side, I'm specialist in an industry, which is logistics supply chain. So then I'm kind of, because sometimes also people, especially if it's very senior level, so I've engaged with some board levels, but I went on the side of the podcast to them. And then they don't necessarily remember you. They remember, okay, there's the podcast guy. They don't remember you as the headhunting guy.
Yep.
So during the podcast, I do the bit on the industry. I do the bit on the HR. How do you recruit your people? And I try to make that connection. So I guess where I'm struggling with, and I don't know what's the best way moving forward, I think it is going to work if I keep it to supply chain and logistics. I'm also considering, should I keep it to Asia, so expand it and saying doing business in Asia, right, and make it a little bit broader.
I mean, you mean the show?
Yeah. And also the business, because I can then flip the headhunting business to expand as well.
Do you feel like your business is ready to do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it isn't.
Yeah, probably not, yeah.
Right.
Sure.
You see what's happening, right? It's the same reason you like the get quick fast. It's his question. Guys, it's the same shit. It's everybody, like, it's the same game over and over and over. I get it. And even when you have some level of success, it's hard. I get it. I get it. I live it. I have way more opportunity than you could ever wrap your head around. But I stay disciplined on what I can do. We've been registered to do business in Singapore for 3 years. Why is VaynerMedia not here? We weren't ready. Was my brand ready? Yes. Would we get business? Yes. Would it deliver at the level that I thought I needed to create 20-year success? No. You're onto something. And this is what happens to a lot of businesses. I look at it every day. You're onto something, and now you're tasting blood in the water, and you're getting greedy because you see it. And especially if you're hearing it from something like this, you're like, wait a minute, this is gonna, like you're compounding your confidence, which is making you go wide when you should be going deeper.